Bianca Guidotti is best known for her time in pageantry, representing the country in the Miss International 2014 pageant after bagging the Binibini Pilipinas International 2014 title. After her time in the pageant world, she went on to work as a model and host. She now hosts Queen Tuhan with fellow queens Carla Lizardo and Pia Wurtzbach, where they talk all things pageantry and beyond.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love With Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is passion and purpose. For this episode, we have an empowered woman, model, host, and beauty queen to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let's welcome the beautiful and amazing Bianca Guidotti. Hi, Bianca.
Hi, Mafae. Thanks for having me, and thank you to all that are watching today. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to catch up with you. It's been quite a while since I saw you. I think last time was in Empire. I don't know how long that was, but yeah, I wanted to share you here because, every time we would talk, I just find this amazing, positive, aura about you. And I wanted to get you to know you more. And I'm sure a lot of people out there also want to hear on your journey of life. So before I ask you what you've been up to lately, can you share with everyone on how you've become the empowered and inspiring woman that you are today?
Well, first off, thank you. Thank you for saying that about me. I really do aspire to inspire, I guess. I really feel that that is basically what everybody's purpose is supposed to be. We're all supposed to work together. We're all supposed to inspire each other. We're all supposed to learn from each other, grow from each other. I think it all started, the whole beauty queen dream or path for me was not like a lot of the other girls that they've been thinking about it since they were kids. I never really had that much of a affinity to pageants before, like growing up, not so much. I think in part it's also because I grew up in another country. So I was born here in the Philippines, but when I was 2 years old, my grandmother was working for the Department of Foreign Affairs. She was a diplomat. She got assigned to Brazil. And then when she got assigned there, she brought my mom and I along with her. So that was 6 years of my life that I spent in Brazil from ages 2 to 8. I was there. And then when my grandmother's assignment finished, I came back home to the Philippines. And I spent another 5 years here. But then my mom, she actually stayed behind in Brazil and she ended up marrying a Brazilian. And so after 5 years of living in the Philippines, my mom said, hey, she and my stepdad got married. And then they said, hey, we're ready for you to come, live with us here in Brazil. So I spent another 4 years there. And then I decided that for college, I actually wanted to come home to the Philippines. Well, one is because in Brazil, there are not many universities that are English speaking. It's mostly Portuguese. And as much as I, can converse in Portuguese, I cannot write papers in Portuguese. Scholar vocabulary is so different from like everyday street vocabulary. So that's why I decided to come home here. So medyo back and forth ako. So I think in part also because of that, I think I saw the world as such a big place early on. I learned about many cultures. I was studying in international school when I was in Brazil, so I was able to meet, a lot of people from different walks of life, different countries, because all of them were diplomats. So a lot of them also were able to travel the world. So we were able to share so many experiences, and I felt that that was one of the things that kind of gave me my view of the world, and how I really think we're all in this together, to quote High School Musical. But I, it made me see that the bigger world is actually small when you talk to people, because our experiences, as much as they're different, they're also similar, you know? So I think that was one of the things that I am really, really fortunate to have had, and to have shaped me as a person, being able to have that. But yeah, when I came home from Brazil finally to go to college, I went to Ateneo de Manila University, which was a whole different like world of opportunities as well, and learning, and the Ateneo culture of being men for others, men and women for others, excuse me, humans for others. Ateneo, I feel like we should change our motto sometime in the future to be more, inclusive. But yeah, anyways, they really instill in you over there that I guess that drive, because every year, every single year that you're in Ateneo, there is a required subject that is more for social learning. So we had
Mhm.
NSTP, which is, I think it's, nationwide NSTP. But we also had the jeepney program, where we had to take on blue collar jobs to just experience how it was. I ended up getting a job in a department store, being a sample perfume lady. Giving out the sample perfumes, yeah, and encouraging people to buy. And we went through the whole thing. We went through the employee entrance and exit. So we really were immersed in like a different kind of um, life that we otherwise would not have experienced, because again,
Mhm.
I'm so privileged with my life. So Ateneo instilled that in me, and I think it also gave me the one of my most memorable experiences, which was teaching children who were out of school and were living on the street. And I think that was the point that I said, okay, I think at that point I was taking European studies, majoring in international relations. So I was kind of looking towards the diplomatic route, same as my grandmother. Because, I was so happy with the life I lived, and the people that I met, and I thought it was a good life to have, even for my future children. But I
Mhm.
got into the work, I got into an OJT, and I realized it wasn't exactly what I was. It didn't fulfill that drive in me. And then I compared it to from my OGT, where I did paperwork, and it was interesting, it was intellectual, I loved it. But then I look back in my experiences in NSTP, where I would teach children, interact with people, and get to know people. I realized that was the part that I like. I like getting to know people. I like knowing different backgrounds, and I like collaborating with people to I guess all of us grow and make sure that we're all in the same level. That there is justice, real justice, and a livable life for everyone. And that's when I decided I'm not gonna go into diplomacy, but I wanted to go into humanitarian work. So I went and applied for an NGO job after college, um, for CFSI, called Community Family Services International. So CFSI, they're still around. Check, all of you guys are watching, please check them out. They have been working for internally displaced persons, for refugees. I learned a lot too. Like, did you guys know that the Philippines, we are one of the most welcoming countries for refugees? We actually have a long history of being one of the first countries to tell people in need, hey, come here to the Philippines, we can help you. And I find that amazing. And most people don't even know that. And I think it's a really great,
Yeah.
characteristic of the Filipino people that I think a lot of people should know. And while I was working in that NGO, I also saw how it was a small NGO. It's a grassroots. It wasn't UN. It wasn't World Vision. The big international NGOs. Mine was an international NGO, but it's a Filipino homegrown NGO that was able to put a few projects in Asia. That's fine. It was an international NGO, but it's small organization, and most of our budget went to the programs. So we didn't have budget for marketing and getting influencers to talk to us, or even putting things on online. We were still. I was the secretary for the I was the assistant executive assistant for the president, and I had to be the one doing all the marketing things, kasi tulong-tulong, kasi the money wasn't
Yeah.
there. So when
Right.
the opportunity came for me to join a pageant, at first I was very skeptical. I was like, I don't know if that's what I want to do. It was my mom. She called me one day and she's like, "Hi, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing, Ma. Why? What's up?" She's like, "So I'm talking to your titas, and they know this person. His name is Norman Pino, and he knows beauty queens, and he knows people that can train beauty queens. And I think we sent a picture of you, and he said that you could really make it." I'm like, "What? Wait, you sent a picture of me? Wait, what's happening?" So it was a bit of a like a surprise, an ambush. But I had dinner with Tito Norman, and he had invited already Bessie Besana, who was
Mhm.
ACC Queens at the time. And Bessie and Tito Norman, I met them together, and they convinced me. They said, you have to look for it, and the fact that you work for an NGO and you speak Portuguese. I think because it was 2014, and there was a rumor going around that Miss Universe was going to be held in Brazil again. So they were like,
Mm.
"Oh, if it's in Brazil again and you speak Portuguese, it's going to be such a huge advantage and all of that." So I was like, "Okay, sounds interesting." So, but I never really made my mind up until the screening now. Like, I did the training, but I was like, "Oh, let's do the training. Let's see how it goes." Okay, let's see lang. Until Lana, I met the girls, and then I met the trainers, and then I got competitive. And then they told me, they showed me that, pageantry is a great platform, especially you working for an NGO and you're saying that you don't have, a lot of funds and you're not recognized so much. Maybe you can join the pageant and
Yeah.
help your NGO in that way. So
Mhm.
I figured, yeah, that sounds about right. Tama nga naman. And again, competitive na ako, so I wanted to win that. So bumapayat na ako. I was learning the walk. I was doing the Q&A. So I said, okay, screening na. Sige, gawin natin. Let's do this. Let's do this. So yun, ano ako, Binibing Pilipinas, that whole journey, my mom, right, I think a week before Coronation Night, she looked at me and she said, "Nakapayat mo na, you're so skinny." Sabi niya, "Alam mo, I know I got you into this, but if you want to back out at any time, you can go ahead and back out. You don't have to go through this." I was like, "No, ma, I got into this." And I really saw, I felt my own growth. What I love about pageants is that they push you out of your comfort zone. Pageantry
Yeah.
pushes you to do things that you otherwise wouldn't do, to think about things that maybe you wouldn't have to think about, and really get to know yourself. Because, um, you know, uh, I talk to candidates as well, and when we talk about question and answer, it's really about opinions.
Yeah.
Forming your own opinions on different subjects, and you
Mhm.
can be so book smart and know every little detail and fact about a certain issue. But if you don't know
Mhm.
who you are and how you stand on things and your core values, then it's very, very hard to answer, at least honestly and sincerely, which is, I think, is very important in pageants. Gone are the days that you can spew out pageant patty or a memorized flowery answer and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
that anymore. It's not like that.
Mhm.
Uh, so with pageants, I really feel like it brings out, it forces you to look towards yourself and examine who you are and kind of decide, in a way, decide who you are, who you want to be, how you want to affect the world. Sorry, my dogs.
It's okay.
um, so yeah, so I guess it was a whole culmination of how I grew up, the things I was exposed to joining pageants. I would not be who I am today if I did
Mhm.
not join Filipinas. As much as a lot of people, and I do recognize, pageants. They oh my girls, pageants they
Yeah.
can be problematic, but I truly believe that if done right, if maganda yung organization, if inaalagaan yung mga girls, if pinag-iisipan yung pageant, it
Mhm.
actually, reinforces and spreads feminism. I don't know, people might bash me for saying this, but I really think it's a tool, and a tool
Yeah.
is only as good as how we use it, diba?
Right.
So if we claim it and use it the way to its maximum potential, then it would be amazing. So
Mhm.
I guess yun. If that answers your question, it's just a combination of everything I've seen and that I've been through, and it just inspires me to empower myself, because you have to empower yourself first, and then somehow radiate that and inspire other people. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, you tapped on the key points, on joining a pageant and how to prepare, how to face Q&A. It's really like the whole package that you have to prepare for, right? Like for you, you were encouraged because you were already doing advocacy work. You were already doing charity work. So, knowing the fact that this is a platform for you to enhance, your knowledge on connecting, I guess the network is also a factor there, being introduced to a network that you normally maybe don't talk to or aren't able to reach, but then utilizing, the opportunity of joining a pageant, then you know your why. I mean, for you alone, you already were giving back, you're already teaching, and less fortunate. So having the opportunity to join a pageant and knowing that you had people's support and telling you, hey, this is something for you if you want to keep doing your work at another level. I also like the fact that you said, Q&A, it is a form of opinion. I think that's a lot of girls, really get nervous or really are stuck on just focusing on Q&A when really you have to focus on everything about yourself. When you know yourself deeply and truly, right, Bianca, I'm sure you agree, then it's okay to communicate what your passions, your values, what inspires you. Q&A, really, they're just giving you a topic about yourself. They're just telling you, okay, what's your favorite color? Just talk about that. Make it sound so fancy or pretty or whatever, right? So, for you, I know your communication skills was already, at par because of, your education, your background living in Brazil. So how did you prepare just to balance the nerves? Because, of course, we just can't control that sometimes.
Gosh, I still struggle with that up until now. I I guess preparation for the nerves, of course. I read a lot. I wanted to make sure that I knew, the facts at least. I think um, going back and reflecting also about your values. Because if any question is thrown at you, if you can just go back to your values, then you know what to answer. You'll know what to answer. But honestly, ako in Binibining Pilipinas, if you saw my face, I was a bit blank and I was kind of rambling and I didn't really, get to what I wanted to say. If Tito Boy asked me this after my coronation, he's like, Bianca, I noticed that during your Q&A, it felt like you had more to say. Gumanon siya. Sabi ko, oh my God, Tito Boy, yes! Kasi kinabahan talaga ako doon. I think the worst is waiting for that thing. Yun yung
Mm,
mahirap eh. It psychs you out. But I guess now that I've learned from my mistakes, um, I guess it's very important to just breathe. Remember to breathe. Collect yourself. If you can
yeah.
meditate, meditate
Mm,
or pray, prayer. Um, I think that helps a lot with the nerves. Just calming yourself, and yeah, just as long as you know that you've done everything you could have done to prepare before that day, then just
mm,
remind yourself of that. I prepared everything that I could. You know, ito na. si Lord na bahala dito.
Yeah.
Ganun na lang. So, that kind of releases the tension a bit. You just
Mhm.
release control and just be confident that you know who you are and you know
Yeah.
what to say.
Hmm. And I remember your batch. Your batch was gorgeous. It was really a tight competition. Of course, it was certain announcements that we thought, okay, these girls are gonna make it, or these girls will make it. But it was just like a lot of you that was just like, okay, this is gonna be a tough one for the judges. So you having crowned Binibini Filipinas International. Was it what was going through your mind before they even announced your name?
It's funny because some girls lie when they're asked, "Oh, what crown do you want if you win in Binibining Filipinas?" And all the girls, "Oh, whatever crown, blah blah blah." But the real truth there is the answer is Miss Universe. I want Miss
Yeah.
Universe. That's all. That's the goal. But once we started announcing the winners, so second runner up. Kasi at my time may second runner up. Second runner up. Yeah, runner up, sige, okay lang, wag muna ako. First runner up, okay lang, wag muna ako, wag muna ako. And then the first round comes in. And then ibang girl yung tinawag. And you're like, oh, actually, alam mo, okay na
And
rin
you
naman
even
yung
crowned.
ibang round.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like, kahit anong crown na lang, okay na. Basta matawag niyo yung pangalan ko, oh my God. So when my name was finally called, I was just like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, because honestly, I don't think I could have done that again. I mean, kudos
Yeah.
to all the girls who join more than once. Grabe, like I
Yeah.
honestly cannot say that I could do that. Like
Hmm.
if I didn't win a crown that year, I would have been nope, that's it, I'm done. Ayoko na kaya. That was a lot of it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of your
Yeah.
time. It takes a lot of your focus. Oh, sorry,
Hmm.
excuse me. It takes a lot of parang even your planning, even
Yeah.
your personal planning,
Hmm.
like, I had a boyfriend at the time, and of course, your restrictions and all of that stuff. But
Hmm.
so glad, so glad I finally won. I won a crown. And
Yeah.
Miss International was great. I must say
Yeah.
it was fun. I don't regret going at all. Of course, as if you ask any beauty queen, there are things that I would have changed in my performance.
Hmm.
But I don't like to dwell on that. Things
Hmm.
happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Another thing I like to tell the girls all the time is the crown does not give you your worth. The
Yeah.
crown isn't the one that makes you queen. You, who you are, what you do,
Hmm.
gives that crown meaning, not the other way
Hmm.
around.
Right.
So, kasi ako nag-feel ko yun when I didn't win in Miss International. I mean,
Hmm.
sabihin na natin, clapper ako nun. As in, wala ako sa semifinals, nothing. So, that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot, I must say. And it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you doubt who you
Hmm.
are. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? What could I have done? I mean, there are a lot of things that you could have done more, but it's
Hmm.
destiny, it's destiny, it's a lot of factors that are beyond your control. And again, this is just a beauty pageant. I mean, it's important, of course, but it doesn't define who you are. It doesn't
Yes.
define what you're gonna do forward. And
Hmm.
took me took me a few months to get there, but I got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So going back to Miss International, you went to Japan. I'm sure, like you said, the experience was amazing. What would be going through your mind like daily? What would be your habits or your ritual to make sure that you are on your A game? Because there was no time to feel tired. There's no time to slack off. You have country on your back. So for you, Bianca, what did you do to stay strong during? How long were you there?
If I remember correctly, I was there for almost a month. It was
Yeah,
pretty long.
and that's
If not a
long.
month, it was
Yeah.
pretty long. Yeah, I did
So
so many tea ceremonies. Oh my god, so many. Anyway, sorry.
yeah. So what did you
um,
do to make sure that you were always looking fabulous. Your energy was always high. What was your secrets during that time?
Ooh, okay. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I was not on top of my game every single day. There are times that you get tired and you miss your family. And um, at one point, like because of the stress, I actually my allergies. I had an allergic attack. I came
Mm,
out during the it was a speech um, event. We were supposed to kind of like debate a little bit, but anyways,
mhm,
I guess what I tried to do was try to get as much sleep and rest as possible. Not try to not overthink the day. Uh, let go. Let go at the end of the day. What's done is done. You did your best. Let go. And then the next morning you wake up. It's a new day. Uh, what do I gotta do? First thing, of course, take a shower, put on your face. You know, your makeup, your hair. Um, and kind of just like be ready for anything. And then I check in, of course, with my friends and family before anything happens. Kasi throughout the day, wala ka ng time to be on your phone. You don't have time for them at all. So, um, I just check in the morning before I leave, and then at night before I go to and just stay hydrated, eat, as much as I was still, watching what I was eating, I was not too strict on myself kasi high stress High stress, daming ginagawa araw-araw, we were moving all the time. So food was still, such comfort and I still
mhm.
appreciated it. So just eat well, eat healthy, eat well, don't starve yourself. What else? And make friends. I think that's
Mhm.
so important because as much as, of course, you have your support system at home and your organization, and of course my other Binibini girls, they were definitely there for me. Pero iba pa rin yung support that you get from the girls that you meet there in the contest. And that helps you too. It fuels you. It reminds you of what is a pageant. It's more than just a contest. You're here to also meet other girls from so many countries, that you might never be able to visit in your lifetime. So speaking to her and getting to know her might be the closest thing you have to being
Yeah.
able to get to know that country and how they
Mhm,
think and their culture. So I kind
mhm,
of went back and said, you know what? Do what you enjoy doing. Get to know these girls,
mhm.
So I
Yeah.
had a really good roommate, Miss Singapore. She was the best. She helped me a lot, and I hope her too. I feel like it was a great sisterhood, and Miss Netherlands, Shawnee was also a good friend of mine at the time. And I think again, yun din, support system then, it helped me. It helped me do my
Mhm.
best. It helped me. Kasi we motivated each other. Alam, friendly
Yeah.
competition ba na, oh, ang ganda ng makeup mo, ano ginawa mo dyan? Para ikaw, sige, try nga ako rin. You know, uh, surround yourself with people that keep you motivated and
Mhm,
challenge you,
mhm,
kind of like push you to be better than what you are today. So
mhm.
that's my
So
advice.
I think for us, no, I really like what you said about getting to know, especially your co-candidates, especially being in the national pageant. It's like you're traveling through them, through their eyes. Especially right now, I think I appreciate it even more being part of Miss World because you're right. I have now all these girls who are my friends around the world, and for sure it'll take time for me to even or for us to reunite again. But then we can share each other's stories or share each other's um, the beautiful sides or what was beautiful for our country, right? But going back to I wanted to ask you uh, when you were feeling having the breakout and you had
Yeah.
your family in touch, because I think the biggest difference for us, like social media was not big for us during my time in 2003. So now for this generation, how much of an advantage or disadvantage is it to have your phone or social media to guide you or just to be there during your journey in the international pageant?
I think with any technology, it's a double-edged sword. It depends on how you use it and how you restrict the use of it. Also, of course, it's a huge advantage because you are able to connect to your fans, your support system. You're able to connect to not just people from your own country, but from all over the world. And then you get their interest, and of course, the organization is looking at your social media. So that's another tool for you to use, especially since personality right now is a big factor in winners.
Yeah.
And ano na yan eh, social media becomes an extension of who you
Mhm.
are. So an extension of who you want to be, um, what you want to project in the world, right? So there are those advantages because you get to have multiple facets of that.
Mhm.
When in back in the day, the only real way that we can express ourselves is through the Q&A and how we what we wear, and
Yeah.
a little bit with the events and talking to whoever we can talk to. But with social media, it's just another arm that you can use for that. And then what else? Of course, just being able to research and just check out all the other girls on social media. Um, Sorry, it's part of it. It's part of it.
Mhm.
Because syempre, you want to check it. You want to check how they're doing,
Uh-uh.
what they're doing. So, para malaman mo lang naman where you stand. It's not like you're,
Mhm.
gonna bash the other. Magagawa ka ng fake account. No, just check. But I guess on the downside of it, there are a lot of good sides of it, and it's pretty, I mean, obvious. But on the downside, if you get too consumed, if
Yeah.
you spend too much time on social media, baka mawala yung focus mo on the event. And mawala
Mhm.
yung focus mo in terms of connecting with the contestants, with your fellow
Yeah.
contenders, with connecting with the organizers that are always there watching you and
Yes.
checking you out and seeing what you're doing. And how you connect with maybe the sponsor or the fans that are in the area. It's so important to be able to connect with interested people throughout the pageant, not just the pageant night. Actually, pageant night is just a big grand finale, but the whole 3 weeks they're watching you,
Yes.
they're getting to know you. They're checking how you connect with people, how you talk to people, because you're the spokesperson. When you
Yeah.
have that crown, you are Miss International. You are the embodiment of the pageant's brand. So it's so
Mhm.
important to kind of be just open and be focused on other people. Ang hirap
Mhm.
din kasi if you're too much on social media, you look
Yeah.
unapproachable,
Yes.
conceited na, alam mo yung ganun. So
Mhm.
as much as maybe that's not what you're doing, it
Mhm.
can be
Mhm.
perceived that way. And
Right.
perception, sorry to say, it's part of the
Mhm.
deal.
Mhm.
It's perception, how you present yourself and how others perceive you. All of that is part of winning that title,
Mhm.
winning that.
Mhm. No, I agree with you totally. Even though in the national pageant, I feel as though maybe I'm old school. I like the fact that I get to know everyone from the manangs to the makeup artists to the hairstylist because word gets around on how you are as a person genuinely. In front of the camera, behind the camera, I feel as though sometimes it is a disadvantage to have everybody has a phone and social media is because you have to capture everything, but then you lose the point. What Bianca was saying is getting to know the people or the organization and them getting to know you because they don't want a queen or a winner that will just be um, indulging in their phone every time there's a special event or even when the key people are around watching behind the backstage and you're not acknowledging them because you're too
Yeah.
busy scrolling or whatever. So I guess it all comes with wanting that success in that platform. Like you said, it's not always about the crown. Sometimes you can gain these network during this time after the pageant, even if you didn't win. There's so much opportunity being part of an official, having an official sash saying that you're an official candidate. Because, at that time, that's where they're still choosing. maybe a certain sponsor might like you, and then you did, just because you didn't win, it doesn't mean that they're not going to offer you a job. So I like that you mentioned all that, because I think that's really key part of preparing. I think a lot of girls or a lot of men who want to join the Mr. Pageant world, they need to also know that you have to make sure your communication skills is the most important thing when it comes to events. I mean, yes, have your phone out, but at the end of the day, take advantage, right? You just never know what kind of position the person sitting next to you has, and can say, "Oh, I am the owner of this," later on, and say, "Oh, I remember Bianca. Like, she's a great speaker. Like, she can be part of our, program and this and that," and it just snowballs from there, right? And speaking of that, you have a show now, right? With Pia, and who is the other co-host?
Carla Lizardo. She is one of our friends also. We all joined Binibining Pilipinas 2014. Uh, and yeah, it's crazy. That show was just like something Carla thought of. She's like, hey guys, you want to do a podcast? So it's also an excuse for us to get together more often kasi our
Yeah.
lives had gotten so busy and wala na kami masyadong time for each other. So, and then, Pia said, yeah, tara, let's do it. And then this was all before lockdown. So we recorded a couple of episodes in the condo of our producer. And then, boom, the lockdown happened. So, na-pause for a couple of weeks. And then we realized that, hey, podcast naman to, audio lang naman, so we can do it remotely. Sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, so we can do it remotely. And then we thought, hey, why don't we do, everyone was doing
Yeah.
Zoom interviews at this point already. So we said, okay, why don't we do that then? Do something live, get the audio, put it in our podcast. And then it, Gabe, I'm so thankful to Carla and Pia. This show was one of the things that kept me afloat during
Mhm.
this whole pandemic, mentally, emotionally. It made me, it made me parang move, just keep things going and
Yeah.
grow something. Ang hirap kasi with the pandemic when everything is
Mhm.
paused,
Yeah.
parang you feel like ikaw rin, parang ako na-pause din ako, parang hindi ako magalaw. Ang hirap
Yeah.
ng feeling na yun. So, doing the show with Carla and Pia, it really, it helped so much with dealing
Mhm.
with, the lockdown and everything. And yeah, we all met in Binibining Pilipinas. We never thought that, we'd end up doing this show, but it was always something that we kid around with. Like, we thought
Mhm.
about creating a website, we thought about creating a blog together, but it never really materialized into anything
Yeah.
up until now. And I guess because of the pandemic, then, I mean, I think
Mhm.
because we're all kind of stuck at home right now, so we kind of have the time to dedicate it to that. So,
Yeah.
parang, silver lining lang of the
Uh-oh.
situation on my end. Yeah, so guys, please watch Pintuhan. We have it on the Tripod Network Facebook page. We have it every Tuesday, except this Tuesday. Actually, it's Tuesdays 4 p.m. kami. But this
Oh,
Tuesday, we
sorry.
actually took a break.
You
So,
should have told
but this
me.
Tuesday, no. We actually took a break talaga this week
Okay.
kasi we're gonna come out with our Kabonga season finale next week.
Okay.
So, nag-break muna kami. So, yeah. But yeah, the connections, sobrang, it's so true what you said. Even moving forward, um, connecting with people, it's not like you're taking advantage, ha? Kasi
Mhm.
some people, they say, ayoko maging user, ayoko maging ganun friend. But then, that's, yun yung negative way of
Yeah.
thinking about things. But if you look at it in a productive light, you want to be productive with your friends. Who else would
Yes.
you want to be productive with, diba? Parehas you
Mhm.
all nagtutulungan na kayo, you all just helping each other. So ako, being productive with friends is it's a great thing to have. Also, of course, pitfalls, meron talaga. But kahit ano naman, in any relationship
Mm-mm.
naman, that again also makes you better friends.
Yeah.
If you get through it, if you are able to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, YouTube it,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. And what I love about our show is, um, so often kasi ang tayong mga beauty queens ang nai-interview about pageants usually, diba?
Right.
So it's really good. It's good to flip the tables a bit,
Yeah.
diba? And talk to the girls. And I think thank you so much also for doing this show as well. Kasi I think it's important na for the girls to also hear the experiences of past queens. Na
Mm-hmm.
dati, I don't think we were that involved before. But this year,
Mm-hmm.
grabe, the past queens now are really getting more involved with
Mm-hmm.
with pageants and talking to the girls and training the girls with Catriona and Nicole Cadavis being the official trainers for Being Filipinas. Amazing. I think that is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Um, parang another reason why we wanted to do the show is because, well, not Pia so much. Kasi ako, honestly, with Pia, I think she was the kind of the turning point of when
Mm-hmm.
a beauty queen stopped. There was an expectation kasi before na beauty queens dapat oo
Yeah.
lang ng oo, gitna lang, not be too opinionated. But
Mm-hmm.
I think with Pia and the IMG management, I think that they completely turned that around and were like, nope, we want a we want a woman who knows how to speak her mind, who knows
Yeah.
about issues, who will talk about issues, who will not be afraid to talk about issues. So, with me and Carla, kasi we were before that year, parang we became it out of practice in a sense that we were kind of afraid to be too vocal about things or
Mm-hmm.
um, to 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 uh, um, to express our opinions about certain
Yeah.
issues. And with this show, we said, you know what, tanggalin na natin yan. That's
Mm-hmm.
a bad old habit. Um,
Yeah.
ano na, it's time to be who you are. It's time to show the
Mm-hmm.
world who we are. And kami tatlo, I feel like kasi we have such great chemistry. And
Yeah.
buti nilang napipigay nadadala naman namin yun sa camera. And we try to be ourselves and magulo lang kami. And I guess we also just want people to know that beauty queens are just women who talk about different things and then we say different things and this is how we talk talaga.
Mm-hmm.
uh, we are not this picture perfect ideal inanimate image. We
Right.
are people. We have moods, we have opinions, we say funny things, we say not so funny things.
Mm-hmm.
We just want it to be I guess more open,
Yeah.
and more
And I think that's
genuine.
that. Yeah, and that's key, right? You just have to have that edge. I think that's the reason why your crown, Pia, and all the other beauty queens that was given that platform is that we had that edge. We had that no fear, I guess. just just having fun or knowing maybe our true why, and that made us fearless. That made us think that life is unlimited and okay, I have this one shot. I'm going to give everything I have. I mean, for Pia, she has an amazing story. Of course, with her, I respect everything that she's doing and is, reinventing herself yearly. I still feel like she's the Miss Universe reigning, just the fact that she's always out there. And now doing the show with you guys, I'm excited to hear it and share it here with everybody who's tuned in with In Love With Me, because we need that positive content. We need that transparent content where we have to share, I guess, the power of the voice. We have to share the experiences so that people can build their confidence. I know I build my confidence through others, like through you, just listening to you, letting down your guard. It's like, yes, beauty queens are not perfect. We are humans. We're women that have off days. We're women that take care of so many things, have so much on our plate, and we just have to learn how to balance it because maybe we are just made that way. We were created by God to be a spine for others, and being a beauty queen is I don't want, maybe it's far-fetched, but it's somewhat at service for others. It's also kind of like a government position kind of thing where yes, we're wearing the sash and crown, but at the end of the day, we're still trying to help build communities, build people, individuals. And yeah, I guess we align with the government to somewhat help with their givebacks, their charities. So it is, a big responsibility, but at the end of the day, you have to have fun. You have to enjoy that time and make sure yeah, like Bianca said, network is key. Having friends is key. Your support group is a major factor on being the person that you are. So with that, Bianca, I know at this point, like you were saying that you were also challenged during this challenging times. So what would be your words of wisdom to girls, women that want to follow your footsteps or be as strong as you are, or even men and young boys that just want that extra boost of inspiration?
Okay. I guess I would like to share a little principle that I learned about. It's called Ubuntu. Sounds weird, I know. But basically, it's a spiritual concept that is practiced in Africa that says that your purpose is filled by others, by your community. So you are whole because your community is whole. And I think that's something that maybe we should all kind of ingrain in ourselves a bit, because I think again it's so true. If you look about like how the world moves, how we all affect each other. If we could all just um, take that piece of I am my best self when my community and the people around me are their best self. If we could do that, I think we could um, go beyond whatever challenges that we're facing. I know it's a bit idealistic, but I always believe that we should all aim for the ideal, even though we're not sure, or maybe we'll never get there. But just aiming for that ideal will help so much in at least getting near it. And to all the girls and boys out there who not just who want to join pageants, just who are wanting to fulfill or even find out their purpose in this world, um, take time to reflect on that. The world is fast. We have internet. There's so many things that we have to do. There's Netflix. There's Animal Crossing. There's your phone games. But if you can take that time to kind of just reflect on what you think your purpose is in this world, and then reflect on who you think or what your core values are. When I say core values, ito yung mga importante para sa'yo. Ito ang mga bagay na kung wala to, masasabi mo, hindi na ako to. And it changes, ha? It's not something that will be the same until you die. No. So you always have to reflect. And I think by doing that, you will get more confidence. I guess to just wrap all of this up, I just want to say that who you are in this world for a purpose. That your uniqueness, all the experiences, all the joy, the pain, everything that you've been through, it makes you unique. There's only one person who has, what you have, what you think, what you can think of. And it's all of our responsibilities to inject that in the world. Your uniqueness, you never know if you're hiding yourself, you never know who you're taking it away from. Be part of the community, be part of the world, um, because we all need each other. So yeah, that's it.
Well said. And I don't even have to add to that. All I have to say is thank you, Bianca. Thank you for the time to inspire everyone here. Let's catch up some more. Maybe you can have you back with Pia and Carla to promote more of your show and find out what's new in your episodes. But with that, guys, Bianca said it all. Actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in this episode of In Love With Me. Love you.
Thank you for watching and Love of Me series.